Damn man. Spell is broken, y'all. 3,000. See how we gonna do this. Spell. Shit ain't what it seems. But this ain't what it seems. 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 Merely, life is but a dream. Merely, life is but a dream. This ain't what it seems. This ain't what it seems. Life ain't what it seems. Life ain't what it seems. Merely, life is but a dream. Merely, life is but a dream. The spell is broken. Finally we can see. The spell is broken. We free. The spell is broken. Finally we can see. The spell is broken. We free. The spell is broken. Finally we can see. The spell is broken. We free. The spell is broken. Finally we can see. The spell is broken. We free. DJ Khaled voice, we the best. Can't dwell on it cause we manifest. I got tough skin, bulletproof vest. You say you for the people, put you to the test cause the spell is broken. People looking sad, I'm just in my bag. Only time I'm not here is playing tag. We ain't come off a boat, they big mad. They ain't give it to a straight zigzag. Get your lick back, say you did that. I once gave a fuck, I had to get it back. Can't get it back, you gotta live with that. Your government is crack, get out of here with that. Now we know who we are. They mad, they know we a star. They lied, they owe us a car. Really, they owe us the land. Recoupment, they owe us some lands. Wanna help, you owe us a hand. You silly, I know who I am. I'm an Indian, I don't give a damn. Why take problems when
you already know. You back.
Don't know how it works. The obstacles,
about to bring this fire.
The obstacles, we was here first. I'm spitting the scripture, they call it a verse. We fit the description, they call it a curse. Fucked up. We was really fucked like both ankles. When they try to help, I'm like, no, thank you. Trust them and they gon' flank you. They ain't conquer nothing, but they did snake you. Don't sleep near me, cause I will wake you. I'm really woke like pills make you. You show me love and I feel grateful. I'm not a hater, I don't feel hateful. I'ma say something, hope it reach the nation. Less appropriation, more appreciation. God created us, y'all a recreation. When you say Caucasian, all I hear is Asian. I'm a truth teller, I'm not an agent. Truth teller, I'm not an agent. I'm not foul, but the foul is flagrant. When life's a world stage it. Right is right, wrong is wrong. We know that we can police our own. This shit ain't what it seems. Life is but a dream. Who's ever doing the asking is asking. Now we know who we are. They mad, they know we a star. They lied, they owe us a car. Really, they owe us the land. Recoupment, they owe us some bands. Wanna help, you owe us a hand. You silly, I know who I am. I'm an Indian, I don't give a damn. This ain't what it seems, this ain't what it seems, this ain't what it seems, this ain't what it seems. Merely, life is but a dream. Merely, life is but a dream. This ain't what it seems, this ain't what it seems. Life ain't what it seems, life ain't what it seems. Merely, life is but a dream. Merely, life is but a dream. The spell is broken. Finally we can see. The spell is broken. We free. The spell is broken. Finally we can see. The spell is broken. We free. The spell is broken. Finally we can see. The spell is broken. We free. The spell is broken. Finally we can see. The spell is broken. We free. First 3,000.
Peace to everyone coming in. Appreciate you. What's going on, brother? I know you're ready to keep it going because your energy was fire from the last build you just finished.
Yeah. Let me make this correction right quick.
Okay.
Yeah, you ready? I'm ready. Hold on one second.
All right. You gonna share, brother? Or you just gonna start talking about a couple of things first?
I was gonna start talking about a couple of things first. Can you hear? Hold on one second. Let me see. I forgot what. All right. I have to. Never mind that. Can't find it. All right. Yeah. Of course, because I remember your last segment. One of your last segments that you did, you had to build with the synagogue and what was going on, the underground activity that a lot of people were up in arms about. I believe that took place. Where was that? That was New York, right? Was that New York?
Yes, brother.
Okay, yeah, Brooklyn. I don't know. I don't know what borough.
It was in. It was in Brooklyn, but it was one of the. I can't think what it was. Crystal Park, I think, or something of the nature. I could look it up, but yeah. Right,
interesting. And then, like you also mentioned the bodies. I believe that was in the Alabama, found behind the Alabama jail or prison.
Yes.
Or something like that. Right, and I think
actually that was in Mississippi, brother. And then a lot of those people have been there for who knows how long.
Right, right. Okay. Remember, we also, and I remember bringing this up on your segment, and it's so sad that we have to always talk about these things, but it's good that we, we've already showed these sources because it validates everything that we've been saying and legitimizes everything that we've been saying, right?
That's right.
That when we brought out the book all organ thieves and how the colleges and stuff, they were called tomb raiders. These doctors, they were called resurrectionists. Remember what I told you about this term they came up with? They would raid these tombs and black bodies for cadavers and experimentation. Matter of fact, it was one of those incidences. I'm pretty sure you obviously probably reported on it. They said one of the individuals, when they got the body back, the brain and the heart was missing, all the organs was missing. But this is no surprise.
I didn't go into depth with that. If you want to go into depth with that part, you definitely can, because I did not elaborate on that. Thanks for bringing that up. I kind of was just showing them how, going into a few things. Please elaborate.
Oh yeah. They found one of the guys. I didn't commit his name to memory, but yeah, when the family finally got his body, the brain was missing, and the obviously some other internal organs were missing too as well. They said that it's common during an autopsy a lot of times that organs would be taken out, but generally they put them back. They requested the organs, they still haven't received them back. Because we all know how that goes and stuff. But this is the nature of what we're dealing with. So my thing was, and kind of like what we discussed, was that people get so surprised. A lot of our people are like, man, this is 2024, 2023. It don't matter. It could be 2158. You're going to get the same play from this block. He's going to show you the same energy. And that's what you think is that's why this is so critical when we bring this work. And like, man, I've been saying on my platform, and I'll continue to keep saying it, is that, as long as we think that we're in a position where we can negotiate with that type of wayward power and dark energy, you've lost your mind. You've lost. You need to know what it is. You need to identify what it is, and you'll go a long way into understanding why they're doing what they're doing and why they're so nefarious. Because their energy is in stark contrast to the energy that pervades the natural matrix, right? So they had to create one of their own. We all knew this, but we didn't know how expansive and how extensive it was. You see what I'm saying? Right. And then because we didn't, we had a shallow interpretation of events. We thought, oh, it just, white man said this about me and I can't get no work, or the drugs, and this. It's way deeper than that. And this is why they're relentless in their approach, because we've shown you that they understand the science behind how this realm ticks. And how did they accomplish that? Through a myriad of different ways. But we're not going to touch too much on that. We're just now in this segment, like me and you had talked about, we're delving into the behavior and showing you that, one, because they know the science, this is what makes them so ravenous. Because when something feeds on you, there is no grace, there is no mercy. You're prey. It's the same type of energy you got for the chicken. When you pull up the Chick-fil-A, you don't be like, man, I wonder how the chicken was raised, how it felt before it died. None of that. You're like, where's my number 5? You know what I'm saying? That's the same thing you see with individuals who survive off your plasma, survive off the most important crystal, that being the human crystal. The last. What'd you say, sister?
Oh, no, I was just saying, yes, brother, the life, that is literally the life, the light, the energy is the light.
Yeah. And in a segment ago, what we introduced to you guys to build on top of the crystal framework was showing you that one of the largest crystals, which is overlooked, it's not seen as one, but we showed, we have the breakdown. I invite you to go to the channel if you need more clarity, but it was mountains, how mountains form. And then we showed you that the different, not all mountains are volcanoes, right? But volcanic activity is articulated as through the magma, right? And this magma, it has 3 components to it: a liquid, a solid, and a gaseous state. But all 3 of these states are crystals, right? And this magma, when it comes to the surface, is called lava, and it shoots out these diamonds. All this pressure, and they got all these long terms called X-ray differentiation or crystal diffraction or differentiation, where all these old crystals and diamonds somehow get selected to shoot up, and others are forced to remain back. Same process in the human story, right? A woman is born with millions of eggs, but in her process, Usually one egg obviously is inserted into the cycle, and a man can spit out millions of sperm, but only usually one of those sperm cells fertilizes that egg. So it's a highly selective process. Mother Earth does the same thing in her framework too as well. So that is very profound. So it shows you the connection that you have, and obviously your reflection of her. So that's no surprise as well. But the point was, we showing you where this energy was coming from. So we spoke about these mountains and crystals. You talk about the Caucasus Mountains. Caucasus means cold or ice. You see what I'm saying? So we say they're from the ice mountain. Whether you take the narrative that we locked them in there or somehow they was born there and got away, I don't care which narrative you choose. They're also letting you know they came from a crystal or a mountain that makes them of a puts them as a different crystal makeup. Our ancestors were the same way. You see what I'm saying? We come from a different crystal makeup. This crystal has a ton of energy in it, a ton of sexual energy. And we know this because our people are able to procreate with no issues. It's been this way since our conception. So that's nothing to argue about. Blanco has had trouble. That's to show you the difference in crystal makeup and crystal power. He's had trouble with fertility. And we've already shown you that fertility and sexual energy it's not just one dimensional. It's your this testosterone, this estrogen, all that different stuff, which for men it builds muscle, your sexual secondary characteristics, your beard and your deeper voice, a woman high. So your hormones do more than one thing than just orgasm and gratification and procreation. All right. So they know that this energy that we have is much more powerful than theirs. And in order for them to somehow graft themselves in the natural matrix, they have to take advantage of it or take measures to create a matrix where they can just make their own and they don't have to deal with the natural matrix. They thought they could graft themselves in, but they've been unsuccessful. So they're going to plan B, which is to create into, a full artificial matrix and get rid of the natural one. So this is where we're at. So when we're talking about us understanding where we come from, where they came from, the story and all that, it leads us up to what can we do? Okay, well, first, before you can do something, you got to know who you're going up against. And you're going up against what we've always told you was some vampires. We told you that the most prided crystal was the human crystal, and inside that human crystal is something called plasma. We know what plasma is on the market, the biggest industry, worth more than gold. You can go on and on and on. But the significance of this is that it's a certain group of people. We all know who these individuals are, the so-called chosen people, right? Who understood the significance a very long time ago. So that led us up, or that leads us to piggyback off the story that Sistar had presented on one of her lives not too long ago, where she was talking about this underground tunnel that these individuals were reluctant to allow the city to close down, right? Or to block off, whatever the case.
Yeah.
What were they doing? Well, we'll show you what they're doing. Let's get right into the heat, because this is going to be very profound. They've been doing this for a very long time and following people around in order to get this plasma. Okay, some of them come from a line of very, very ancient vampires. I know a lot of this shit sound crazy, but you got to understand that the Blanco has been this way for a long time, because this has to be the nature of his existence, to piggyback off the natural matrix until he's able to create one of his own. And this is the way that he does it. So I'm gonna share my screen, and we're gonna talk about a cold case that happened in Chicago in 1955 surrounding the same people, and how it was conveniently not only swept under the rug and obviously patsies taking the blame and the fall, but even years later when you search for these particular resources, they're almost impossible to find. There's 6-7 searches into the your the search engine before you even get a hint of what's the hint of these articles. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna cue it right quick before I share my screen to make sure I know which one it is. All right, hold on 1 second. Where is it at? Here we go. All right, it's this one. Okay. All right, so what I'm gonna do, we're gonna set this up, share a screen. Okay, so this is from the Renegade Tribune. The unsolved Jewish ritual murder of 5 Chicago children in 1955. Okay, the Jewish community in Chicago, one of the wealthiest in the world, has always exercised an extremely powerful degree of behind-the-scenes influence in the Windy City. And side note, something that's very peculiar that you may not even really consider, but is very profound for me, is that, remember, they teach you this in school when you was little. The term ghetto originated with Jews. Remember, they were put in ghettos.
Yep, they were.
So how did we become ghetto?
That's right.
That's what I'm trying to ask Negroes. How did we become ghetto? That shows you how powerful Hollywood is. And who they say run Hollywood. We ain't got to go with the conspiracy theory, but somehow you took the term that they used to articulate they people.
Just like, brother, just like they had a whole entire JEWTOWN. They had a whole JEWTOWN. You go there, man, it's like a flea market where like it's a lot of stores there. Mind you, there were a few like a couple of black owned stores, but mostly everything was Jewish owned, Jewish JEWTOWN, and the only black stores were the stores that were obviously there, that been there. Our people that been there, but they had a whole area, all their restaurants. They had these Polishes. You made me one day. I was thinking about it when you think about the foods and things that they make with the sausages and stuff and what they put in it. But man, they used to have the JEWTOWN Polishes, and people be down there, man, a whole area, and you don't know what they was doing with these people at this particular time when you're thinking about it, especially the thing you about to show now. But I'm sorry, brother. I just was thinking about that. That was so
Go
great.
ahead. No, it's a bill. This is a bill. You see what I'm saying? Because as you can see, some things are not going to be able to show. Obviously, this officer or law enforcement personnel's leg is over the body, but they even show the bodies in this article. This article don't hold nothing back, but this is one of the teenagers. 2 boys and 3 girls, I believe. We'll get into the particulars of the details and stuff. These are actual photos and stuff. So it says the Jewish community in Chicago, one of the wealthiest in the world, has always exercised an extremely powerful degree of behind-the-scenes influence in the Windy City. An influence just as pervasive and powerful, if not more so, as that of the Italian organized crime syndicates, all the more sinister for being far less visible. Between October of 1955 and December of 1956, a total of 5 white children, 3 young boys, 2 brothers and a friend, and 2 teenage sisters were abducted and murdered in a manner which was suggestive of Jewish ritual sacrifice, the liturgical object of which is to obtain Gentile blood to mix with the matzah. Matzah is a grain, used in several esoteric Jewish religious ceremonies such as Purim, Passover, and Kol Nidre or Yom Kippur. All right, so when you see a lot of these things going on around Yom Kippur, definitely ritualistic in nature too as well. All right. So it's showing the articles. The cases share certain characteristics in common. The boys aged 14, 13, and 11 respectively, and the girls aged 12 and 15 were found nude, and yet none had been sexually assaulted, so they say. There further evidence show that they were. According to the pathologist reports, they had been kept alive for some time after they were reported missing, although the unusually cold weather in which the girls' bodies were exposed impeded fixing an exact time of death. The corpses showed ligature marks on the wrists and ankles, indicating that they had been tied or restrained. So on the side of the road, because they were dumped on the side of the road. All the victims had been tortured, with mostly small, shallow cuts and puncture wounds, none sufficient to cause death of itself. The official cause of death was listed as blood loss and shot due to blood loss and exposure. Although 14-year-old Bobby Peterson appears to have resisted his attackers and was beaten on the head with a blunt instrument and strangled into unconsciousness by strong hands with fingernails like claws, which left marks on his throat. All of the children's bodies were drained of blood. So I'm going to speed through these because there's some very graphic photos right there. So sorry, I don't know, sister, you want to probably edit that out. But it's as the articles came out, it was the 3 boys were mutilated. This is what the newspaper was saying. So even this is just like, this is watering down what really actually happened. Okay. It said, what is interesting about these cases is not the unsolved murders themselves, but the view which for once we are given of the lengths to which Jews will go to cover up suspected ritual murder cases. As this article alleges, it's not my words, it's the words of the article. And you know what I'm saying? Not the words of Sistar either, right? In view of the intense public interest in the case, there was, of course, a lot of media reporting. The Chicago Daily News published an afternoon article detailing the ritualistic nature of the wounds and speculating that members of a religious cult might be involved. New bodies found with heads split. Come on, when this stuff originally came out, they were telling it all.
Think about how many times it happened though, brother, and they didn't report it.
Oh yeah. Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah, no, go ahead. That's what I wanted to say. Just like people, you know, you hear this one story because it was so horrific that they couldn't hide it. That's how horrific it was. That's what you got to think about. This is one story though, so there's so many. Like we were talking about this yesterday. It's so many times. Like even that story with them, the people in Mississippi behind that the jail. How many places are like that? How many of these sundown towns got a dump site for our people? In a whole bunch of them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, of course, right. Because you know what you're dealing with is these individuals, they know what you are. They don't care if you tie yourself into these meaningless identities like Christian and Muslim and all of this different stuff, because they know exactly what you are. I've been detailing that in numerous videos that I've been presenting on my channel, and as I'm a guest on others, is that they know about the science. That's why they're unapologetically themselves. We keep trying to negotiate with their power, keep trying to negotiate with the energy they put forth. And you're going to realize that, as they've said many times, they do not negotiate with terrorists. They see you as one, right? So, you know, the Miss Van Hine and her own suspicions and sent the father of the two murdered boys, Anton Schussler Sr., a copy of Arnold Leslie's definitive work, Jewish Ritual Murder. So it's actually, when you go to this actual article, it'll show you a PDF file talking about Jewish ritual murder. So if you want to take a look at that, I invite you to get a little bit more, you know, if you want more clarity on these things, and this is real stuff. So Schussler read the booklet and was stunned by what he learned. He then made the mistake of going to the police and demanding that the possible ritual murder angle in his son's death be investigated. The Cook County sheriff at the time was a Jew named Joseph Loman. So that wasn't going to happen. All right. Lowen immediately placed Mr. Schussler under arrest on suspicion of killing his own children. A Jewish deputy named Horowitz was sent to the Schussler home with a party of men. Now, don't this dude look scary? He show up at your crib. You know, he mean business, bitch. We already in the dark magic shit. Come on, what you say? You said it's part of some religious cult. So he goes there.
Ooh, look
and
at
this
that
is quotations.
Jeez.
Man, come on now.
That thing looks like a pelican beak.
Smell your blood from a mile away.
Mm-hmm.
Having ransacked the house looking for evidence, Horowitz then placed Miss Eleanor Schussler and her family under virtual house arrest, forbidding them to leave the house or speak with anyone on the phone, lest they, quote, end quote, as he says, spread rumors about the Jews. The two Chicago detectives in charge of the case, Irish Lieutenants James Lynch and James McMahon, later complained angrily that Loam's Cook County's investigators had destroyed evidence, threatened and tampered with witnesses, and generally impeded their efforts to solve the case at every turn. Wow. This was Anton identifying his son at the morgue, so obviously he needs to be carried and supported. Instead of releasing him, the authorities committed Anton Schussler to a private mental institution in Des Plaines, Illinois, operated by Dr. Leon Steinfeld, as you would know, was a Jew. Mr. Schussler was rushed right into electric shock treatment, where he died the same afternoon. Boy, so, I mean, Steinfeld. Where we heard that, you know, Steinfeld signed. There was sufficient public outcry over the bereaved father's strange death so that the public inquest into Schuler's case was held and Dr. Steinfeld forced to testify. He stated that Arnold Schussler was suffering from hallucinations and paranoid delusions, that certain people were out to get him. Steinfeld claimed that the elder Schussler had died of a heart attack. Schussler was 42 years old and had no previous history of heart trouble. Okay. And this is how they protect themselves. During World War II, Steinfeld had been prosecuted for giving Jewish boys facing the draft Calip various legal and illegal drugs, which would give them heart fibrillations, fill their lungs with liquid to simulate tuberculosis, give them noxious skin conditions, etc., so they could avoid military service. Steinfeld allegedly collected $2,000 per head for each Yiddishy mama's little bubbly he spared from having to go face the Nazis cold steel and hot lead. So they had everybody in the world fighting their battle. While they over here as a big population able to suit up and boot up and go take Hitler out. But no, I'd rather fake sickness.
Wow. A fake sickness. That's why they get the hypochondriac from, huh?
Yeah, I'm trying to tell you. You see what I'm saying? So So yeah, this is let's see. So it says Jewish newspaper columnist Irv. I can't know how you pronounce that last name. I think it's Kupsinet established a sympathy fund, and shortly thereafter presented Anton Schuster's widow, the mother of the murdered children, with $100,000 raised from Chicago's Jewish community, an immense sum of money in 1955 and 56, worth easily a couple of million today, and a very strange gesture for Jews to make to a Gentile crime victim, a German at that. Unless it was to buy silence. So they pay this woman off, and these are German boys that they do this to. So, like we said before, you know, when you're dealing with these type of individuals, these type of rituals have been going on for a very long time. And a lot of our people don't understand that. And so, you know, when we take a look at these things, some people are going to say, oh, well, yeah, you know, and this is going to be swept under the rug, right? There's going to be, obviously, as you have reported on during the incident, you know, people were hauled off and arrested without incident, right? No injuries and all that, even though we know that these individuals were more than, you know, disruptive. And they give us the excuse that, you know, we need to comply. That's one of the reasons why things go awry for us. But it shows you who runs, you know, the you know, who has more control over the structure in and of itself, or the system, you know, and they had their tentacles in the system for a very long time, and how we switched names with them. They were characterized as being in ghetto, and we were the chosen people. Now they the chosen people, and we ghetto.
How that happen? The big switcheroo. Be telling them.
You see, but this was always what they intended to do. That's why they had to be in close proximity to us, because they understood the nature of this universe when they began to, you know, snatch or thieve away the science, and understood that, you know, how this realm runs. All right. We've already went over that a million times, but like we talked about, it goes back into this is what is the push behind their behavior. They understand we hold certain key energy in us. And the only way that they will be able to attain it is through these rituals. Whether, and you know, a lot of it, obviously, since most of it is sexual energy, it comes from the drive to have this sort of energy inside them. I'm going to show you exactly why this is the case. I brought this out on the, you know, on my last segment, but this is important for you to understand this. The women have the ability. This is why European women are at the forefront of this occult movement, and giving a lot of this information to these Blanco men too as well. But the Blanco men, they know they're in a subservient position just by default, simply because this is a feminine realm, right? It's ruled by feminine energy. So their women just have closer access to the energy by default, that they're of the feminine energy, right? But I'm gonna show you why this is the case. I presented this article, like I said, in my segment, but we're gonna present it here just to give you a little bit more clarity. All right.
Okay.
So this is
you sharing, bro? But I don't see it.
No, I'm gonna prep it first to make sure I got it. That way I ain't gotta look for it before I share it, so I know where it. Matter of fact, I know it's gotta be. Where is it? Okay, yeah. All right, so that's it. All right, so I just wanted to make sure I knew where it was before I share it.
Okay.
All right, so now I'm about to share the screen, you guys, and this is the article. This article is, I read, The Most Mysterious Cells in Our Bodies Don't Belong to Us, The Atlantic, story by Catherine J. Wu. Okay. And we said, and it went on to say, some 24 years ago, Diana Bianchi peered into a microscope at a piece of human thyroid and saw something that instantly gave her goosebumps. The sample had come from a woman who was chromosomally XX, but through the lens, Bianchi saw the unmistakable glimmer of Y chromosomes, dozens and dozens of them. Clearly, Bianchi told me, part of her thyroid was entirely male. So how did this come about? Okay, the reason Bianchi suspected was pregnancy. Years ago, so this was not a successful pregnancy. Years ago, the patient had carried a male embryo whose cells had at some point wandered out of the womb. They ended up in his mother's thyroid, and almost certainly a bunch of other organs too, and taken on the identities and functions of the female cells that surrounded them so they could work in synchrony. Bianchi, now the director of the Eunice Kennedy Shriver National Institute of Child Health and Human Development, was astonished. Her thyroid had been entirely remodeled by her son's cells, she said.
Bro,
you see what I'm saying?
Go ahead. For a quick minute, because listen,
go ahead.
I tell you, you're talking about a mutation. I keep saying this, no offense, but I swear, everything I see when it comes to the chemical makeup is like the male being a mutant and coming in as invasive when it comes to the woman.
Well, what it is, that's, you know, as a male, you know, some people like, you know, males, we feel so disrespectful when we hear things like this. But what we are, if you notice, remember what I tell you, I go back to this article. Let me show you an article. We'll show you an article to kind of put this into perspective. Man, where did I still have it up?
I look at it as the
well, what it was the article basically, you can just look this up. It's called seminoplasma. Okay, so we talked about seminoplasma, and this is, it seems like I'm going to look up, but watch how I put this together. Seminoplasma, the vast majority of what a man secretes when he ejaculates is plasma. Only 2 to 3% is the actual sperm cells. So this is one of the reasons why also a man is almost exhausted after he comes, because he's secreting most of his plasma. Okay, so he secretes this plasma. Remember what they just showed you. These cells, whether they sperm cells or whether they, you know, fertilize the egg or not, they carry information. Just like if it fertilizes the egg, it's giving that egg its information.
Right.
They're giving you millions of cells, millions of data.
Yes.
It's
information and light code frequency, basically from the crystals that's coming through the sperm. And depending on what a male eats, he'll have a different type of experience with that orgasm. Depending on
exactly.
Because of that.
And that's why we always yeah, exactly. Because that's why we always eat sexual foods. Remember, fruit is the sexual organ of a female plant. It's the ovaries.
Yes.
Okay, so we got to eat this sexual energy to stay sexually healthy. And when we don't, remember, the Blanco got a pill for that in your 40s and stuff, when your hormones and stuff start to decline. So we already know that this is the case. But the point is that, you know, what it is that when a woman creates a male, he is more powerful in the sense that a lot of his sexual energy goes toward his secondary sexual characteristics, a large voice, you know, muscle expansion, all this different stuff. But what he creates on the side in his sexual organs, called the testes, and his other seminal vesicles and all that different stuff, as he puts together this plasma, is some plasma energy that then aids in recreating the woman, making her more powerful. So what she created was a companion for her energy. Because remember, the Bible ain't nothing but in reverse. Remember, it was made patrilineal. This is just real talk.
That's right.
It was made.
They don't be one to believe. It was what be crazy. You know what? It's such a spell that be put on our people, brother. It makes me so sad. I be talking to my chat about it all the time. Like, people are so delusional, basically. They're under this brainwash, sorcery, witchcraft, spell binding, indoctrination. It's so much stuff they under. And then, like you say, when you come to these crystals that are invading them as well into your normal crystalline being, and then now they're putting these cubes in you of these different crystal shapes that also causing another type of alchemic reaction to you. All these things going negatively against you. You're consistently battling this like every day, you know. And we go through a lot of this. It's just crazy, man. It drives me nuts. And people don't even understand it. They don't see the, like, you know, how important it is in them really getting their mind right and keeping their bodies in a healthy perspective, staying away from certain things. And like, you know, I used to talk about the health a lot, and it's like, there you talk about this stuff redundantly, but it's like these things are so important a lot of times. You know, you got to really like understand, like, you got to make sure your body is right, because if your body is not right, this physical crystalline being that's mostly water, that's carrying all these crystals and all of that stuff, then everything is off balance. Mentally, you are now mentally thrown off. You are now spiritually thrown off. Your spirit is not discerning to the truth. There's too much fog and all these different things going on. This stuff is so important. I appreciate you always coming over here sharing this important information with me too, brother.
Oh yeah, no doubt, because people gotta know, like you said, when you talking about, like, when we go back and forth to these crystals and stuff, let's look at the video that I showed you know, on the last segment, just so that, you know, they understand if there's any doubt that that's all they knew, that this is a structure of the universe. So let's look into this right quick. I'm gonna share my screen. just to present this. And we're not even gonna go through the video. I got some quotes that I wrote down that's inside the video. And like I said, we're gonna bring up the video so that if you want to look at it in its entirety, you could just pull it up. So we're not gonna leave you without the resources and stuff. All right. So we're gonna share our screen and all right. So this is it right here. Okay, now this guy, now notice this guy, look at the title of the video. Most people things let's let this ad go through. Seeing things in a different light, how X-ray crystallography revealed the structure of everything. And look who this is the World Society. This man is in the tux, he's in a bow tie and stuff. He has the chemistry model right here. He's talking about crystals. He has the replica model of the B12. He has this crystal rock right here. He's showing you that this is how we've advanced so far. This is the World Society. Okay, this Thomas Huxley, this is big names in British history that have, built this artificial matrix off the understanding of crystals, how they've been able to shoot X-rays at what you think is matter or flesh and blood, and they know it's crystals, and it reveals the structure of everything. Okay, and he quotes at the 46-minute and 8-second mark, he said, as long as you can crystallize it, you can solve the structure of it. This is his quote. Okay, and he tells you, he says, we got 500,000 crystal structures on record, and we bring in 40,000 crystal structures every year, new ones. Because as I told you, with that periodic table of elements, what you're seeing 118 elements, but only 92 are naturally occurring. The other 26 have been created by this Blanco, and he's placed these artificial crystals in our universe. And we wonder why things are so chaotic. Okay, and at the 57-minute mark, what you're going to see is he's going to explain to the audience at the end of it about how far they've come, right? He's going to show you that this is a facility they work out of. It's called the Diamond Light Source. They got hadron particle colliders. They smash these crystals together, but they tell you it's particles and other science, but he's explaining this is his facility where he works at. So this is not somebody up there on like we see in the conscious community, somebody just sitting up there talking, right? Talking about what crystals may do, diamonds may do. They built a multi-million-dollar facility to accomplish what they think diamonds and crystals can do and are doing it. This is the real space or Star Wars right here. Okay. So, this is the important part about all of this stuff. So that's the video that you guys need to access if you want that resource. I mean, he's a little slow and dry. He tries to put a little comedy here and there, but the thing is that this is what makes it so hard for us to grasp, because it's the way they teach it is boring. You see what I'm saying? But I'm just letting you know, and I'm providing you with evidence that they know what's going on. You still there, sister? I think I want to.
Yes, bro, I'm here.
Okay, all right, yeah. I didn't know if the sound cut out or what. I seen there was somebody put in the chat that something may have been frozen, or their sound was probably.
No, they come up their internet. He said,
okay.
They always be freezing his internet up. He said because they know God sent press one.
Right, you
one,
know what
I'm with you, brother. We already won. WON. They know it.
Right, you know what I mean? So yeah, they got, like we said, this is the science that they've been using. So we talking about these crystal framework. This is not hard for us to understand. And so yeah, when they understood what made up this universe, artificial matrix, and that they didn't have the vessel necessary to use the energy appropriately, guess what? They got mad. So they was like, okay, well, if I can't use a natural matrix, guess what the heck I'm gonna do? I'm gonna create one of my own. And they've been on a suicide mission ever since, but because we know Mother Earth is not going to allow that to happen. So what I showed you before, and when we use these terms, we got to be conscious of these terms, because these terms craft our reality, right? So many times in the conscious community, even now to this day, we hear people use the term Caucasus or Caucasian, Caucasus Mountains. The Blanco would tell you right now, the individual who came up with that identity was a guy by the name of Johann Blumenbach. right? Who was some sort of scientist, if you want to call. We know ain't no such thing as a Blanco scientist, but he said that he gave up these came up with these racial classifications. Okay, and Caucasian was one of them. And so you look at the Caucasus Mountains. All right, and the Caucasus Mountains is what divides Europe from Asia, even though they call it Eurasia. They're all Caucasians, Eurasian, Caucasian, Asian. It's all, they're telling you we come from these specific type of mountains.
Look, Cajuns, they say
Right?
they say Caucasians, but it's Cajuns, which is dead Asians. Like the
Well,
cells.
But this is what's interesting, like we said. So we got to say, okay, so since we know that, we went back and told you this whole existence about crystals, and mountains are crystals. You can look this up. Mountains are built on crystals, right, or rocks as crystals, igneous rocks. And people want the scientific definition. That's why I always love science, because when I give you the scientific terms and you look these things up, you're like, oh, the brother is saying that. Because if I just tell you that mountains are built off of rocks and all of this different stuff, mountains are usually built through volcanic activity. Not all of them, but mountains are usually built through volcanic activity. And so what happens is they'll spit up this igneous rock. Igneous means hot rock or molten rock. Okay, then you have sedimentary rock and then metamorphic rock, etc. So I can take you down a geology highway now and to let you know that I know what I'm talking about in terms of how mountains form and how we know all rocks are crystals and all of this different stuff anyways. So the point being is we're showing you that these mountains that are created, and this is also the fascination with mountains. Why you got Moses going up a mountain? Why you got Muhammad in mountain walking?
A lot of these mountains is trees, though, was trees, brother, at one point in time.
Right. But we're gonna work our way to that. We're gonna
okay. Look, I just want to listen.
Because we know that's why you see trees growing out of the mountains.
Yes.
Why you see trees growing out of the mountains, okay? So yeah, they're firmly aware of that, right? So the point being is that with they come from a certain type of crystal, because Caucasus means snow or white snow or iced snow. That's what Caucasus means. So you wonder why there's such a strong affinity to the snow. They're telling you coming from a certain type of crystal from the water. The water was cold or in crystal form when they were made. That's why they have an affinity for the snow. That's why they're always afraid of it being warm. They displayed this to you in a movie called The Guardian. I told you to watch this movie with Jack Frost and stuff. They showed you that he was created by the moon. I also gave you an article talking about when they say that when our sun dies, it will turn into a white dwarf and literally be a crystal in the sky. So if God created both luminaries and one will turn into a crystal, and the sun is more powerful than the moon because they call the sun the greater luminary and they call the moon the lesser, if the sun would be a crystal, what do you think the moon would be? So this is very powerful stuff. So you see these crystal spiritual ornaments in the sky emitting more crystal energy, right? And this is what they know, that they resonate with a certain type of crystal frequency, and their frequency is different than ours. It doesn't hold as much radiation or sexual energy. But remember, sexual energy isn't just the way that you see it. It is everything. It's the driving force. And you got to look at the vehicle that sexual energy uses as the crystal. It's just like you're you, but you travel in this vessel called a vehicle. So imagine you being the outside of what's all in the inside. A physical representation of the cosmic energy is you or it itself. Okay, so these Blancos knew that makeup, that composition, which you're made out of, was a different crystal composition than theirs. And they set out to restructure the natural matrix, creating artificial food or artificial crystals, sugars and salts and stuff for you to put in your body. We showed you. Listen, I don't know if many of them have, but I got to show them this video, Sister, because they probably didn't get a chance to see it, because we got to show it. It all ties in, because we don't want you to trail off, or we don't want you to think we trailed off into a pseudo argument. This is extremely important. All right. So what I'm about to do, we're going to show you the world's first video showing the moment that they captured crystals, you know what I'm saying, forming. Okay. Well, let's share this video right quick.
Oh, I want to, man, I wish I could show that freaking video with the crystal cave, bro. I don't want to get another.
We finna go, sister. Let's spin.
Oh, man.
That's how we do this. That's how we do this. Okay.
Yes.
All right. So listen, listen. This video right here. Can you see the screen?
Let's say I'm a biology student.
Is it shared?
Yeah, it's showing.
Okay. All right. No doubt. Okay. Skip this trash. Speaking mayonnaise. All right, so this is what happened, brothers and sisters. They put this is a carbon tube, nanotube. They put table salt in this nanotube with water. They evaporate the water, and as they evaporate the water, these crystals. This is caught on camera through a powerful electron microscope. And these crystals get bigger as the water gets released from the body. Hence, this is why I said this in the last segment. This is one of the reasons why, as you can take this as a representative of our arteries and our veins. When we put they salt or the crystals that they made in their lab, this is what happens. And this is how it happens this fast. Okay, these crystals, as we dehydrate ourselves and lose our water, these crystals harden, and it hardens our arteries, as they say, atherosclerosis and all of this different stuff. Because as I told you, this Blanco learning about crystals, and what does he do? He don't inform you about the shit. He goes in his lab and he weaponizes it and brings it into your food, your potato chips, your soft drinks, and all of that different shit. He's weaponized it against you because he understands that this realm is built off crystals. But let's let this Blanco at the beginning show you this, okay? Department of Chemistry, the University of Tokyo.
Salt is an essential substance in our everyday lives, ranging from its use on icy roads to food seasoning. Looking at salt through a large magnifying glass, we see that the crystals are cuboid in shape.
The crystals are cuboid in shape. Let her continue.
Salt consists of regular cuboid crystals of chloride ions and sodium ions.
So she's saying they consist of chloride crystals and sodium crystals. But yeah, you don't hear them talking like this in your biology class, in your chemistry class, talking about these are chloride crystals and sodium crystals. You talking about the table salt? Yeah, she's telling you that what you can see right here without a microscope looks like crystals to you. And she telling you when we look through a microscope, they still crystals.
And then she said, what did she say, bro? She said a cuboid.
A cuboid crystal.
Cube. I said
that's why it looks like a cube right here, because it's a cube at the molecular level. The world is built on crystals. Let her continue.
However, until now, nobody has seen how these crystals are formed. Capturing the moment of crystallization.
Oh, they was happy, right?
In 2021, a research group in the Department of Chemistry at the University of Tokyo was able to record the formation of a salt crystal on video using an electron microscope, the first in the world to do so. Usually, an electron microscope only shows a still using an electron.
This is a powerful electron microscope. So like I said before, don't get your mind out of Hollywood. If you see the movies where a doctor looking at a virus in a microscope in a movie, that's false. That's Hollywood stuff. This is the only way they think that they could see a virus is through a microscope like this. This is called a high-powered electron microscope. Okay? Period.
On microscope. First,
okay,
in a conical-shaped carbon nanotube.
Now watch how fast they get. Have you seen this? Remember, this is like Tetris. Remember, as the crystals get too heavy and you can't break these crystals down, what happens? Your game is over. They're going to show you how fast it's. That's why I'm telling you. And this is salt, brothers and sisters, let alone all the other crystals we take into our body.
Repeated 9 times for 152 seconds in a conical-shaped carbon nanotube.
So this is why, look how big it gets so quick. That shit is crazy. And this is like we said, and then we wonder why people have hypertension, atherosclerosis, and heart attacks and heart disease, and we dropping like flies because the Blanco got a biological and chemical warfare going on you so sublime. It's going over your head, and you think this Blanco all about the Kens and the Karens, and you talking about where you can't shop and what you can't do and where you can't live. Nigga, they on Star Wars shit. This showing you that you operating at a childlike level. And anytime we talk about this crystal shit, that's what they do to us. They do shit like this. They do shit like this. Let's pause. Let's go sidebar for a second. When we talk about this type of shit, what they do to us? Missouri police search for 6 missing people who followed so-called social media prophet. Police say 4 missing adults were following the teachings of a so-called online prophet named Rashad Jamal. You see what I'm saying? And they do shit like this. You know, Nature Boy. When what does it say? Police reports offer new details on arrest of alleged decap cult leader Nature Boy, Carbon Cult, Carbon this, Diamond Cult, alleged cult leader. No, you see what I'm saying?
Right.
So what we trying to tell you is that we fully explain this. You got the resources because when we say crystal, you automatically think Hollywood, not you guys, but we're saying the
Right.
layman automatically thinks witches, warlocks, Lord of the Rings. Get your head out the clouds. Crystal structure is just an organized arrangement because you got all this energy around you. Like even right now in your room, all you have is electricity around you. That energy, electromagnetic energy. Yeah. Matter of fact, if we was lying, it's recent commercials where Blancos are trying to get other Blancos to wear sunscreen at night. I bullshit you not.
At night.
Doctors are prescribing sunscreen for Blancos at nighttime now. Okay? Because the trees hold the radiation. You think the trees be out there soaking up the sun radiation? What you think? Where you think it's at? It's held in the leaves and everything. But we know this. If you've ever put on infrared goggles, you see the heat coming off the trees. That's radiation. But see, we told you that light exists, life exists, life, L-I-F-E, exists on multiple dimensions or multiple levels of light. Okay, so that's one thing that you have to understand. So this is very powerful about how they're building all of this. So the sister talked about the caves. Remember, we just go back to mountains, right? Let's double back. We talked those caves where she was talking about, and my Spanish teacher online would love me to say this, right? Sierra de Naica, Chihuahua, Mexico. Okay, so we know that these are in, you know, the mountain ranges in Chihuahua, Mexico, right? Where you got these crystals forming. She showed you these crystals. They took down the video because she showed you these.
They was hating, bro. They was mad.
But it showed you how the earth was manufacturing these crystals. Okay, so I had to listen. I look, I got to, just because we want to show you that we always had a framework, right? So we want to show, okay, so let me further explain, because I don't think that I fully explained it and I went off on a tangent and then come back to it. We were talking about how they were made, because we're showing you at the micro level. They conducted an experiment, and what did they show you? When you extract water out of a vein or a tube, so to speak, then the crystals, because the water rotates the crystals, and so they get larger, because all the crystals need is like a bomb to set it off, and then they start just bonding with each other. Okay, and water does that, and as water does that, it does its job and it evaporates and leaves. Okay, and then so that's when something crystallizes. This is the same process you use to dry your fruit. If you notice, dried fruit has more sugar or more crystals than the you know, before it's dry. Like a grape has about a lot less sugar, but when you dry that grape and make it a raisin, it has more sugar content than the grape did. That's because as the water was leaving, the crystals got larger. You can look back at any organic raisins or anything made from prunes or anything like that. You concentrate the sugar or the crystals when you dry it or when the water leaves. They've known this. So, you know, with that being said, since they've known this, like we said, they use it against us. And more importantly, you know, the concept that we got to build on in terms of that is like, okay, let me show that. So we see, okay, I went to prep it. So we see the water, what water does. So you see the mountains that the Blanco was born on. He, you know, that he came out of Caucasus Mountain. Caucasus Mountains divides, you know, Europe and Asia, right? So on the west side, you got the Black Sea. Okay, we said this, and on the east side, you have the Caspian Sea.
And that was the Great Sea. I was talking about this the other day too, just to throw in there, brother. Right on the other side of the lake, there's a river on the other side of Africa was Crete, and there was mountains over there. They came out of there. That's where the Christians came from. So these Christians were the ones that were the imbeciles, which they try to make our people say they Christians, wanting to keep telling them that they're imbeciles and they're ignorant and they're dumb, because these people had deformities of the thyroid and the what is it, the iodine in them because of the lack of the sun. So the deficiency caused the mental illnesses. And so these people were called Christians. They were actually the Cretans from the land of Crete in Greece. I read a whole book about it.
Yeah, they definitely were. See, one thing that I, you know, where I'm gonna lead all this information to, you know, is you know, us understanding, like we said, how this all these elements play a part in the crafting them. You know, like you said, the crystals and where they come from. You know, certain regions and things like that. I would say, like I said before, how they originate and how they naturally came about through our technology, natural technologies. Because first thing we got to realize is that it's somebody on our team that went AWOL. Okay, Black people got to understand that it wasn't white folks just popped out of nowhere and gained power. It was our people that gave them. Somebody on our camp wanted more power than somebody else. We know how this all ain't nothing new under the sun. You know, every tale that you see spiritually, biblically, it's always a tale of some jealousy. Look at Cain and Abel was brothers. You know what I'm saying? The sun and the moon, all these fights is symbolically representing the angst that one has. Even if you look at the tale of Osiris, Isis, and Set, one brother's mad over, and they all family. Isis is supposed to be the sister of Osiris, and they supposed to be brothers and sisters. So it's all about how family, because it may also be symbolic of the fact that no matter what relationship you talk about, or no matter how tight it is, somebody's always going to want something or feel like they are inept in an area. You know what I'm saying? Or have a void inside themselves. Sometimes people can bring that out of you. We've all seen this in life. People can create insecurities within you. Oh, you feel like you ain't got enough money, or you don't look good enough, or you this, that, and the other. It's easy to do this to the human element or the crystal element. Because why? By nature, the crystal element is always forming, trying to reach perfection. That's the nature of the crystal. That's why it makes bonds. It's always trying to evolve, become better. This is very important for us to understand. So that's why it's critical for us to do right by our crystal organism, because it will either reach those levels or it will drive us crazy in the process. And you've seen so many people give up because intrinsically we know that it's something that we're missing out on. And so, you know, we know about all the attempts that other people have made in order to get to that level of enlightenment, but how do we make it practical for us? So this is a way. And so, like I said before, when we analyze those water bodies and stuff, the Black Sea, they call it the Black Sea because 150 meters down at its deepest, you know, at deepest level, supposedly no oxygen is there, and you know, only bacteria can survive. So it's like a wasteland, it's dead zone. All right. Then on the other side, you got the Caspian Sea, which was named after Trans-Caucasus. Okay, the only reason why I'm saying this is that this is very important why I'm bringing this up. So Caspian Sea was named after a Caucasian people too as well. So think about these earth bodies. Remember when Earth's rocking and rolling? Remember the Caspian Sea used to have a direct outlet to the ocean, but somehow after the churning and the crystallization, the land locked it in. Because when water manipulates itself, it creates land or crystals or rocks.
Yeah.
You live on Earth. You are a terrestrial. You are a crystallogian. You are made by the result of Earth manufacturing crystals. That's why in the Bible, when God was created, it said, let the waters go to and fro. I am killing you niggas.
Yes, you is.
You see what I'm saying? And they showed you through an experiment how water does that when it forms crystals in a carbon nanotube. When water moves its hands over crystals, it makes larger crystals. They just showing you the gifts of life. And it goes over our head because we too busy arguing over what Ken and Karen are doing and how we can get our place in capitalistic America, because all we need is a little step up and then we can be on our own in a world where the Blanco was on a suicide fucking mission. It's just ultimately ridiculous. But yes, this is what we talk about. So this is the area, a dead sea and a tumultuous area, because the Caspian Sea, you gotta remember, that's where Russia gets all its oil. Russia, Georgia, Turkmenistan, or whatever they call it, they're actually called the Caucasus states. So think about this is what's deep. This is why I said all this. The Blanco has now stated that Caucasian is a made-up term. It has no weight no more. Oh, that was, we were racist. But why are you still using it then? Why are you still using it if it's a term that was made up by some German dude that fell in love with a Georgia skull, a skull he found out from a Georgian woman who was supposed to be perfect and shit, and said that this is the height of human evolution from based off of science called phrenology. Once again, Blanco running around with other pseudo stuff trying to make himself look good, but we knew the truth. We knew he knew the truth. Right. Tons of evidence for that, right? So underneath the Caspian Sea, you have basaltic rock or magnetic rock. Here, electromagnetism. Remember, in order for shit to get magnetic, or it has to be a field around it. Water provides that field. So they were created in this crystal, or maybe we locked them in there. Notice how when we transform, our terror transformed with it. They didn't even know when the land became sand or crystals in the Sahara Desert. Remember, because they tell you it used to be vegetation. So then he became the dark continent to the Blanco, because he's like, damn, these niggas done created some crystals, blocked us off from their ass. Okay, we got one for you. So the Blanco went on a suicide mission again. He didn't give a fuck if he was eaten up by mosquitoes, sunburnt, dying, none of that. He said, I'm coming to get you. I'm coming back for you, and I'm coming to get you, because he was used as a weapon. He was coming for those who was conditioning him and promised him the wealth of the world and granted it to him. And this is what we're living under now, at the mercy of the artificial matrix. And so I want to remind you, like we said again, we're going to show you a photo of your Olmec ancestors who showed you that they knew exactly the powers of volcanic rock and crystals and, you know, basaltic rock. So I'm just going to share my screen one more time again. All right, just to show you this photo, because we've shown this before too as well. But we, you know, like I said, we got to get you guys familiar with this sort of stuff and really into it. Okay. All right, where did it go? Where did it go?
I can imagine, sis. Oh my gosh. Imagine the healing you get going in there. That's what we was talking about, the video that they cut. Me and the brother was talking about it when we was watching it. How going in there, they were saying, oh, you know, they was getting sick, uneasy. I was laughing, but either way, I'm like, imagine if we went in there, man. Imagine just being instantly healed from whatever sickness or, you know, whatever was going on with you.
Yeah, because look, this is made of basalt. You guys see this? I think we shown this.
Okay,
this is
sure.
your Olmec says, look at the size of his head. This is volcanic rock, brothers and sisters. This is magnetic rock. And this Blanco right here and his compatriots, his people he come from was like, how did these niggas do this? Obviously, we know this is, they would say, oh, well, yeah, you know, this wasn't influenced by African, but they know any other time that you see this wide nose and these thick lips, they want to say it's Africanoid and stuff. So they know what you're capable of. And so the Blanco was in awe, and he was like, okay, well, how is he moving it? What tools could he been moving it with? How did he accomplish it? Right. And then so us thinking that everything got to be done with tools, it went over our head that this could have possibly been done with the human body. Once you tap into your magnetism, because they knew that's why they had to take over your crystals. Let me go back right quick. That's why they had to take over your crystals, in terms of selling you certain crystals in the food market. Because remember, one of the most powerful crystals is called iron. Got to remember, let's go one more time. I got to show you this because you got to reframe the way that you see your existence. So this is important. You got to know this. So I'm going to just share my screen one more time. One more time, brothers and sisters. Hold on 1 second. One more time. So bear with me. Bear with me because this is crucial. This is crucial. So where is that? I know I got it. Okay, this may be. All right, so here. All right, so as you can see, like I said before, this periodic table of elements. Look here, and that's why I get you a colored version. It's going to tell you at the bottom what this all means. This light purple, you see right here, they call alkali metal, but this got sodium. Sodium is a metal. Okay, alkaline earth metals. This is dark purple. Magnesium. Okay, calcium, metals. Okay, this blue section right here, all metals called transition metals. This is your iron. Okay, gold is in here, silver's in here. All right. So, like we said, then you have your green semi-metals. Okay, then non-metals, not that they can't be metal, because carbon, nitrogen, oxygen are all considered non-metals. They don't call them gases. Then they got over here, and why wouldn't they? Because right here in this orange, they call these noble gases. So all of a sudden, you got oxygen. They tell you breathing air. They never say gas. You got to watch how these crackers talk to you. This stuff I tell you. That's why in the Matrix, what did Morpheus tell Neo? He said, you think that's air you're breathing? They knew the jewels a long time ago. That's what I'm trying to get you guys to understand. 3/4 of this periodic table of elements is metal. You're an organic metallic being. They've understood that for a very long time. And if you operating on this level where you flesh and blood like the Bible is trying to tell you to be, then that's how you going to run around here acting like, and you'll never get to the next level. Although the Blanco running around here with X-ray technology, showing you through X-rays, I've been able to peer through there. And then we've shown you the article. We got to bring this up. We got to bring this up because it just now I got to show this. I damn near got to do a review because I can't. Only way to me to make sense of all of this different stuff is if I show it to you, because to just talk about it doesn't help anybody, right? You know, because you guys need these articles too as well. All right. there was Caucasia. Well, there's, you know, there could have been, you know, I know the Caucasoid states or Caucasus Mountains, they called it Trans-Caucasus, which represented the southern part of the Caucasus Mountains. All right, so there is an old term for it called Trans-Caucasus, or the Southern Caucasus, which is the southern part of the Caucasus Mountains. Okay. All right, so okay, present, share this with you guys right quick. Like I said, just so that we can make it all make sense. All right. So race correction in the X-ray machine, the controversy over increased radiation doses for Black Americans in 1968. Okay. So May 23rd, 1968, Howard Goldman, director of the New York Bureau of X-ray Technology, acknowledged that X-ray technicians routinely exposed Black patients to doses of radiation that were higher than those white patients received. This practice, which adhered to guidelines from X-ray machine manufacturers, may have been widespread in the 1960s. Senate hearings held that month as political unrest rocked the country, prompted public outcry, led to calls from state and federal officials to end the practice. Yet in the 21st century, despite growing interest in the problems of race and racism in medicine, race adjustment of X-rays has received little attention. It is important to understand the origins of this practice, its rationales, its possible harms, and related controversies. The history shows how assumptions about biologic differences between Black and white people affected the theory and practice of medicine in the United States in ways that have may harm patients. These insights can inform ongoing debates about the uses of race in medicine. So we're just giving you an overview of that because the introduction is very important. But you're seeing that reminders we told you as they got into this X-ray diffraction or X-ray crystallography or X-ray science, they began to use it in their health fields. They're like, well, fuck, now we know how to look at crystals. Let's look at these niggas. But as they looked at us, guess what they found out? They found out that they couldn't look at us. They have exhibited biases in the assessment and management of pain. Some widely used technologies underperform in Black and brown people. Pulse oximeters. You might know what a pulse oximeter is when I tell it to you. It's that thing that they put over your index finger and they shoot a light through you to figure out how much oxygen you have in you. But because we absorb so much light, we never give them a reading back. Wow. Okay. Let's let the Blanco confirm this. Racialization of the X-ray. The discovery of X-rays in 1895 revolutionized medicine. Let's go down a little bit, okay? The ideas persisted even as context changed. Nearly a century later, in 1959, an atlas of normal radiographic anatomy described the skull bones of Black people as thicker and denser than those of white people. Research continued to report race differences in bone density, because up in this paragraph it says, quote, the skeleton of the Negro is heavier, the bones thicker. This was some guy named Theodore Waits, 1863, dude who wrote the book Introduction to Anthropology. So again, as I raised my concern in my video, I said, okay, if our bones are heavier and thicker, how in the fuck are we running faster and jumping higher than you? They knew that that wasn't the case, because when did I show you? I showed you the fact that when you look at that periodic table of elements, those bones are made of mostly calcium, and calcium is a metal. Okay, so they know that you are organic metallic beings, transformers, crystallologists, whatever you want to call yourself to hype yourself up. You need to get this shit because this is real. Notice General Electric Company was making these machines. The General Electric Company, then the largest manufacturer of diagnostic X-ray equipment, made its own race-based recommendations in the 1961 and 1963 editions of its pamphlet, How to Prepare an X-Ray Technic Chart. It advised that Black patients needed increased radiation exposure. Pause. Let's go back. This is what we're showing you. This is what we're showing you. This is the point. They're showing you first like they know that you made up of this shit, right? Now, we just showed you through that video that you can look at for yourself that these blancos were talking about X-rays in the late 1800s, the 1900s, right? Early 1900s. So this is the 1960s. What am I explaining to you? What is my point? That the Blanco's not ignorant of what you are. They acting like the Blanco acting out of ignorance. Oh, they just did us different in the hospitals because it's racism. No, they know you're different. They knew about X-ray technology and all this math, Pythagorean theorems and all of this high science and math. And they looking in the lab and they're like, damn, what's in these Negroes? We don't know because it's not sending anything back. In that article, they let you know is they were shooting X-rays at your back to try to get a look at your crystals in your spine. They was like, we can't even get a reading. Remember, I told you the most important crystal is the human crystal. They've been trying to figure us out. So I said all that to say this. If these Blancos that told you they use X-ray crystallography to look at DNA, and yet then in the same breath put out an article telling you in the 60s that they've been using X-rays and can't even look through your skin, nigga, they don't even know what your DNA look like. So homage to all of the black people who sit up there and talk about what we got, all the DNA we got. They ain't even seen our DNA yet, brothers and sisters. Because remember, as the Blanco said in that video about crystallography, he said, when you can crystallize it, then you can be aware of its structure. So that's why he takes our food and we crystallize and harden. Then when we die, he gets an opportunity to try to figure out what it is that makes us up. Because remember, when the crystals arrange themselves, I can shoot light at it and get an idea of what these makeups are. It's called shadow work. As that dude will show you in the video, when they shoot light through a crystal, they're showing you the shadow. Just like an X-ray, you're showing the black part is the shadow. So they look at the shadow and then they do some math work and say, this is what this looks like through the math that we do. From the shadow work, from the darkness, they are able to see the light. Man. See, you got it all wrong. See, remember, everything is in reverse. Remember, all light comes from darkness. That's why the black will tell you never be able to see in the black, because all light comes from darkness. Blackness is all light combined. That's why when people keep saying, people think even Kanye says some deep shit. We not black people. People got this argument all the time. White folks talking about black body radiation, your ability to absorb the entire electromagnetic spectrum. All these white folks do is piece up the sun's electromagnetic spectrum, X-rays being one of them, and he's now using it like a superpower. He's finally able to see through matter, and he's excited about it. He's like, damn, these niggas had this ability, man, running around the old Mexico. What the fuck they was doing? Moving objects because they tapped into the magnetism of the object. What makes you think something is heavy is the way it bonds with each other. Just like if you took two big metal pieces and you melted them and bonded them, they're going to be heavier because they bonded with each other. It's just the nature of the bond. When a bond is so strong, it's heavy. Okay? When a bond is light, it seems to damn near be a gas, but it's still all crystals, right? So our point got to be like the heart of any bond is electromagnetism. So our people knew when they made themselves magnetic by eating the right crystals, the right iron, because they water is plasma, right? Water turns into plasma and it creates electrical field, magnetizes them. Then they're able to tap into the magnetism of an object and then they're able to move it effortlessly. That's why when the Blanco came and colonized land, he had to take over your crystals, your corn, your sugar, and all that different stuff. Everything that made you magnetic at the molecular level, he had to change it up. Then he had to shroud it in these mysteries in school, teaching you chemistry. Okay? When in turn, he was learning alchemy and how to crystallize things. And while you sitting back talking about flesh and blood, he got particle colliders smashing crystals together, making completely new organisms and bringing them in your world to go to war with you. And this is what it's been. And the rituals take place, behind the scenes too, as well as we've seen and as we've noted, at the beginning of this podcast, this segment. So we're showing you how they are, and that's never going to change. Remember, as they seen, as it was all of that, chaos going on in that synagogue, they were willing to throw their bodies in the way to prevent them from closing off that. You see what I'm saying? You got to look at that, showing you you're not negotiating with this energy. Black people have to realize you're not negotiating with this energy. It's non-negotiable. As the Blancos told you, we don't negotiate with terrorists. Anything threatening the supremacy of, or is threatening the model or threatening the status quo. Hey, we're gonna go at with the heaviest hand. This is how they operate. They didn't come this far just to give everything up. And see, so what happened was, as with everything, when you create something, you got to understand that there is a chance that it can go awry. Remember, this is always a theme of myths. Remember, Zeus. Kronos was Zeus' father, and Kronos ate his children because he feared Zeus and them would kill him. What did Zeus and them do? They ended up killing Kronos and them, or the Titans. Then they became the gods. Then Zeus and them got jealous of man. Then man became the god. Okay, you see what I'm saying? Now man made robot. Now robot might become the god. Do you see what I'm saying? This is powerful shit. Remember, I told you about this, how we can say all of this shit and people will say us off as cult. Like when Bobby Hemming was talking about, you can get the gods to work for you. You can tell them motherfuckers what to do. Everybody's like, this nigga crazy. But then,
right.
Listen, but then the Blanco make a movie called Aladdin where a white boy rub a lamp and tell a god what the fuck to do.
Period.
What did niggas say? Oh, that was a good movie. I'm gonna take my mouth. This is one of my favorite childhood movies.
Lord have mercy.
Because you
got all the power. All the power.
It's the saddest. It's the saddest, position to be in because things are this way. But once you wake up to what you are, who you are gets thrown out the window. But you got to stick to the path because I'm telling you, they're operating in leaps and bounds. That video I showed you to look up, please watch that video. Those rich, Sister saw them. She was at the live. She saw these were rich, elite individuals. This wasn't run-of-the-mill money. These people who coming out of Bentleys and private jets, okay? You know what I'm saying? Talking about crystals, okay? Nobody sitting up there putting their So now, when we see the video of the Jewish woman going viral talking about the biggest problem is African Americans and niggas sitting up here wondering, I wonder why they worried about us. Wake the fuck up. If you know you ain't got no power militarily, how can a motherfucker with nuclear arms always be worried about your black ass? A man who says he goes to the moon and Mars regularly is worried about you. Blanco always talk about how he on other worlds and doing this, doing that. But if you breathe wrong, I'm here to lock your ass up. So we got to understand he rules by fear. Because the Blanco sit up here and say, like us, what he do with us? Oh, we got to have good credit, right? To get loans and shit. Well, the Blanco owe trillions of dollars. But then, he tell us in the same breath, oh, the international community says my credit rating is A++. Nigga, you owe trillions of dollars and your credit rating is A++? Yeah, because they say that I'll pay it back. No, bitch, because you got nuclear weapons and AK-47s. They're scared of you. Who the fuck go ask Debo for their money back? What Debo say? Oh, he's like, oh, United States, I got $200. No, I got $200.
Nigga, who hand is in?
Right, like they gonna ask for their money back. You know what I'm saying? Oh, we owe the United States this $1 billion. Who gonna ask for the money first? Who gonna be the one to ask for their money first? You see how they all had to band together to ask for their money? We're gonna create bricks. Nations had to come together. Nobody want to do it by themselves. Oh, let me just do my own money. Oh, no, not possible. We gotta come together. China, Russia, India. You know what I'm saying? India. Who else is in it? You got Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa. That's why it's called.
Everybody come up against the American.
Right. And this is all by design, right? But yeah, so like we said before, we can continue to keep paying attention to these narratives because these Blancos is on what? They want to show you like we're trying to blow up the world on some fickle shit. Now all of a sudden you see in news reports where they like, and I told people this, I said, watch how it trickle down into the so-called international community that they created, and it's gonna start creating these this rumors of wars. So now all of a sudden they're over there in Yemen, right, with the Houthis, supposedly backed by Hezbollah and Iran and all this shit. And they're like, yeah, we just did some strikes in the Red Sea. You see what I'm saying? Because these motherfuckers is in the Red Sea hijacking our cargo ships and shit from Israel, not letting goods and shit, so we bomb their ass. No, they're talking all this tough shit, right?
California. I say, ain't the Red Sea in California?
Well, no, the Red Sea we talk about over there in the Middle East. You see what I'm saying? The one that Moses split. Remember, this is the one that Moses split.
Oh,
okay. So, right, this is where they at, right? And so they over there bombing these motherfuckers, and then they like they said, what did they say? They said, yeah, they grew in strength. They grew from the 80s and the 90s. So, but when you look in the demographics of Yemen, Yemen is right under like Saudi Arabia, literally, like it borders is right under Saudi Arabia. And Yemen has a population of about 30 million people, right? And guess what? Over half that population, literally over half, is 15 years or younger. So then you got 15 million people who old, and this and all this other different stuff, right? And so it's like, now you telling me you beefing with some motherfuckers who ain't even the size of a large city in the United States of America? And you tell me, that's why I say, but we don't do the math with this shit. We We just hear on the news, oh, Yemen and the Houthi and these people, they're strong. Bitch, if you can't take out a city with all these money you spend on your military, something wrong with your stupid ass.
Okay, that sounds like the blood and Crip thing.
That's just like China making the Bloods and Crips like a superpower. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
That's the equivalent of what the fuck they do. Oh, the Bloods and Crips, they done amassed a lot of weapons right now. When we send our cargo ships, motherfucking China-made, Japanese-made Nintendo toys and all that, they're hijacking them. You know, like that'd be the argument. Like the world would be like, "Are you serious?" But yet that's what we chalk up though.
Here they go making stories. Making stories, all these theatrics, and be like, "Oh my gosh, I get so bored with the shit by this time."
Exactly, because we know what they're doing. We know it's what Trump said. It's the Star War campaign that they got going on. The race for the wars. Because mind you, as they came into the X-ray crystallography and discovered these crystals, remember, I'm going to show your viewers, I don't know if they had an opportunity to see this, but you got to see this, right? Because when they show you that they're looking at these crystals through electron microscopes, right? And then when you hit an X-ray, shoot an X-ray at an electron, what it does is it starts to oscillate up and down. It oscillates like this when you hit it, and then it starts to release its own energy. So what the Blanco then does, he uses X-rays to see the energy inside something. So then he can then say, what's its properties? How will it react? What will it do? And all this different stuff. So he realized with all his diagnostic equipment, he couldn't see the inside of black people because we wouldn't give him no information out. Like the biological block, nigga, like a car. Like these motherfuckers got car block on the spiritual level. These motherfuckers would not let us in to see what the fuck, so they had to go back to square one. They went back to the labs. Like, fuck, we got to make the crystals that will crystallize them, get them older and age faster, as black people are starting to do now. We're aging faster, right? And we're shriveling up because we're crystallizing. This is the only way he's going to be able to study us, because when you can shoot light through something, you can see how something's structured. He wants to know what we look like inside. Right. He see what the outside is, but you see the Blanco's not concerned with the outside. He knows the magic is in the inside. What the fuck are you niggas hiding? I need to know, and I'm about to find out by any means necessary.
Something that y'all ass ain't got, some damn light, spirit, light, energy, plasma, light,
or better yet, a soul, S-O-L, which they added a U.
That's the breath, that's the light.
You see what I'm saying? Like Bobby Hemmett said, he said you have the soul. You literally notice when you go outside, you absorb the sun. And I told people, I gave people examples. I said, right now, go online and order a solar panel. You're going to have two options, and you're going to see one that's more expensive. It's going to say monocrystalline, which is one big crystal slab. And then you're going to see one that says polycrystalline, which is many crystals. What is the Blanco doing giving you crystals to absorb the sun for? If the sun in and of itself wasn't, see, you got to think about this stuff. So if you say you absorb the
solar panel, bro,
sun, what'd you say?
I said, we literally are solar panels.
Or solar crystals or crystallogens, right? So it's the Blanco's telling you that in order for you to absorb the sun, you gotta be a crystal in the first place. That's the dynamics of this universe. But he's already let you know that. And see, this is the thing. If you notice how he's been able to then switch up sexuality because of that. When we show our skin, black men and women are being sexual. Just by being our solar panel cells. Now, dig this. How do we know this? Because this Blanco can show us our people in Africa on the Nature Channel, butt ass naked. And he's like, well, this is just a natural documentary. It's got nothing to do with sex. See, now all of a sudden we can see sexual energy in a different light. Because now the Blanco said so. Get out of that shit, nigga. You're in school. You're learning about how these African tribes survive. They run around butt naked, harvesting shit. They're hunters and gatherers, etc. And they were like, oh, shit, I learned something about the Zulu tribe. Oh, this whack ass shit.
Right.
When our people are saying, nigga, this how we are because it's how we're naturally made. Our entire body wants to absorb the sun.
That's right. We are the damn sun. Shit. We the children.
So when summer come around, it's time for us to absorb the sun because hell, we've been away from it from the Blanco manufactured winter. What did the Blanco do? Make us ashamed. The women are out there half-ass dressed naked. Then here you get with the motherfucking religious. Oh, you out there whoring and slutting. Look at your damn naked. Well, hey. Didn't God create us naked? That ain't the point. God may have made a mistake, nigga. Stop trying to fuck up my program, nigga. So what? Adam and Eve was created naked. You ain't supposed to be naked, nigga. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
You know, that switch up the argument to fit the program. You know what I'm saying? You want to talk about a woman thou art loose when God created motherfuckers naked. If God knew something was wrong with naked, don't you think God was powerful enough to create clothes? Here, make these for you, knit some things. When God saw that Adam and Eve covered up, he was like, what the fuck is y'all doing? Covering up for me. Oh, I didn't know it was been weird. As I said before, man, we better wake up. We better wake up. It's that deep. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, that's pretty much all I got, unless there's some questions or, you know, small Q&A, but that was, you know, what we had to, you know, I wanted us to get the gist of how these people are, how they operate, why it will never change, how important it is for us to understand exactly what our makeup is. These organic metallic beings, you carry that in you. When you have iron in your blood, you have carbon in your skin. Remember, the nickname of Superman is the man of steel. How do you make steel? Iron and carbon. You are the real men and women of steel. Why will you wait till this Blanco comes back to you and gives you artificial intelligence and says, oh, they're about to rule the world? What is the Blanco also saying to you? If robots gonna rule the world, who the fuck gonna be procreating?
Right.
Have you niggas woke up? If they telling you robots gonna rule the world, who the fuck gonna be making babies? So you got to recognize that either way it go, they telling you things that procreate will all be controlled. There will be no such thing as sexual energy just being able to operate on its own.
Freely, roaming freely.
I'm getting rid of the bees. I'm getting rid of everything. None of you niggas will ever taste something real. You won't even know what a real tree look like when I get ready done with you. Remember, that's what the Hunger Games all about.
Barely see what one look like now. And the fruit. We don't even the fruit. I have them somewhere, but I have pictures of the what certain fruits used to look like. They don't look anything like now. They're in this book. It shows the way they look. Carrots, tomato, damn near everything looks totally different from the way they used to look.
Yeah, that's why you got to get, like I said, I'll be getting all of them crystals from crystal powders like black radish from the Peruvian mountains. It looked like, you think it's going to be a black powder, but it's purple crystalline. You see what I'm saying? It tastes exceptional. I got the, you know, like I said, I put my cinnamon, you know, because I be having a whole bunch of these sitting around the crib.
Right.
It's either got aloe vera in there or it's got, you know, the right crystals. And then I got my, you know, filtration system to make sure that I got the best water. You know what I'm saying? To make sure that I'm obviously amplifying or creating an electrical field and then taking in the right iron in order to make myself magnetic to attract the things that I want. You know what I'm saying? And it is a real thing. Brothers and sisters, let me tell you some real talk on some real shit. I'm just, and Sister, I know about this. Because me and Sister talk outside of this. Like we said, we ain't just YouTube friends, okay? Right? We talk, and, you know, from time to time we do talk. Sister was aware, and you guys probably aware of my accident. I totaled my truck. Was in a bad accident, okay? And, you know, most people, generally it takes some time to bounce back. I think, shoot, man, Most High put it together. What was it, like a week and 2 weeks? I was able to, you know, have a new whip. You know what I'm saying? That's because that's how I wanted it. I already knew what I wanted. And it was just that because I was attracting it. And this, remember we talked about when you see these shows like with Oprah, it was like The Secret and the Laws of Attraction. Motherfuckers like, that sounds pseudo. But they know it's pseudo because they know that they've done everything in their power to cause you at a physical level to not even be able to attempt it. It'll only be a thought and an idea, but they know that there is basic applications to, you know, that you can apply this at the basic and fundamental level.
That's right.
And we got to get out of this flesh and blood concept. You are a metallic organic being, which means that you attract shit literally. And how do these blockers tell you that? They like, oh, if it's leading your walls or painting your walls, they ain't asking you to eat paint chips, motherfucker, to absorb it. You could just be in that room and that's what's going to happen.
Period. Even other crystalline beings. You know how easy it is. You're on the phone or you're having a conversation with somebody. Somebody come by. You could be in the best mood, right? You're having a great day, right? Next thing you know, here come this one person that called. They done came by. Here they come with a whole bunch of drama, this, and that. As soon as they leave, it's like your whole day is done. Like literally just damping everything.
Right. Yep.
That energy right up.
Yep, because that energy or that light transfer, And so this is, you know, it's important for us to, like we said, we don't get to this point where we begin to understand that the veil is the actual identity crisis, you know, this Christian, Muslim, this, that, and the other. Truthful, I'm finna attract a wife, some more knowledge, new diet. Hey, well, new lifestyle. Remember that diet. Take the look at them first 3 letters in that word diet. See what I'm saying? But yeah, of course, lifestyle. When you become immersed in this is what will transform you. Because I'm telling you, see, people know if you ever, get a chance to be a part of the Upper West Squad, I would love to, but I don't. And I do this on purpose. It's by design. I don't drop every day. I don't drop videos every day. One, because I'm too busy too. If I would have had more time, I would say honestly that I probably would drop more. But even when I did have the time, like when I lived out there in the country and we had 2 houses and 40 acres and stuff, and I was just working and on my book and I could do more in my artistic stuff, I still was only dropping like 2 videos a week because I was doing more of the work. And then I had my son. So how would it be me preaching to somebody talking about doing the work and I got a son right here and I'm not doing the work with him, So I had to do, it's all about the legwork. We got to put boots on the ground. You're not going to see me like everybody else posting all the time, worried about views, telling you to like and hit this. You grown, you know what to like and what not to.
Come on now.
YouTube, right?
Bro.
I'm a grown man. You grown. You a grown man and a woman. You know if you want to like something or not. So me telling you to hit the like button in the algorithms and I'm being shadow banned. We know this comes to the territory. We might complain every now and then to crack our little jokes.
Right.
But
it ain't no big deal. It ain't no big
deal because we gotta imagine what's real talk. If we were to have a venue and 40, 50 people came, that's a nice turnout. And we gotta understand, man. A lot of people individually hold a lot of power, so you can't really. One person might do the power, the work of 50 people. You see what I'm saying? And so, sometimes people think it's nice to have a whole lot of people, but where would that get you if there's no substance in those people? It won't help the movement to have any substance, and eventually it'll be torn down and people will move on to the next new fad and you'll be irrelevant, the work will be irrelevant, and then the movement will be extinguished. And that's something that we don't want to have happen here. So, like I said, Sister Soul does an excellent job. We want to commend her because she's always putting in work. Individuals like me continue to keep doing the work because my thing is each one teach one. And also as well, we know that the ancestors that told us what? Know thyself and you shall know all the mysteries of the universe. It is the inner work or the shadow work, which is the most important work of all. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, with that being said, I'm gonna get off my horse and let Sister Soul say what she needs to say. But other than that, if there's no questions, that's it for me.
I appreciate you, brother. You did enough. Came from yours, came right over here. You already know you came with the fire as usual, making sure to clarify, bringing information for people to really see it and breaking it down. So you guys, you see it, guys. You can't spell it out no better to get better, understand or overstand it, and everything you need to have the clarity of thoughts. We got to really be open to, really taking in information that's important. And a lot of times we're listening to other things that you're putting inside you too. Keeping that in mind, just like I said, a person coming over, giving you their energy, you're listening certain information. It might be somebody in your job that's always talking to you every day. Anything. It's certain things people will be put around you to literally do this to you. You got to be really careful and preserve your energy and watch what you're doing, all of that. So I just wanted to say that, literally. But that's about it for me. Y'all already know I appreciate my brother coming through. He always come through with a banger. And yeah, it's a early evening. We appreciate you guys hanging out. Peace, love, and bliss. And yeah, bro, till next time.
Oh yeah, till next time. Yeah, definitely appreciate everything. And so y'all better not be leaving. I paid too much for this movie and documentary. So you know what I like to end it on is, who is God? God is the judge. And why is she the judge? Because she decides who wins and loses, not my opponent. Who is my opponent? He does not exist. And why does he not exist? Because he is merely a dissenting voice to the truth I speak. Speak the truth.
I say. Yes, brother. Appreciate you. Peace, love, and bliss, guys. Y'all already know. Y'all want to hear one before we get up out of here? Let's see. Let's play y'all real quick. Bro, I know you done did another build. If you want to drop off, you can. We'll holler later, and appreciate you. But I'm going to play one before we get up out of here.
Okay, no doubt. See y'all later. Props to, sisters. Props to the, those who support, and props to the Crystallogians for next time. Check y'all out.
Yes, peace, brother. Much appreciation. Have a good one. Yes, guys, we're finna get into a little quick one. Get up out of here real quick. Peace, love, and bliss to everybody that came through. And I think I'm gonna play this. All right, here we go. All right, guys. Peace, love, and bliss.
Yep. Wild Indian, yeah. Hey, V, line them up. I'm a wild Indian, you know I go crazy. Ain't really Indian, that boy Fugazi. I just keep it player, you can never play me. You got an ass so fat, girl, let's make a baby. And another one. Then I'm back to the trap, I'm trying to double some. She a bad woke chick, and I love her tongue. We some jurisdiction boys, we some 101s. Look, don't compare me to no Martin dog, I'm like Malcolm X. Job about our freedom, we'll leave a crack a stretch. Round of applause, boy, you know we clapping checks. Chucky ball, cow play, yeah, nigga, that's what's next. Open up the cans just like Arizona. Pull up mad stuff like we got the Rona. We set up jurisdictions when we buy the corner. How you claiming that's your hood and you not the owner? Be the beat, I just pulled up in the need for speed. Free the land, tell the colonizers that they need to be. Wild Indian up in my veins, you know how we bleed. You ain't gotta lie about who we is, dog, just keep it G. We at war, we can't keep the peace. Since we at war, gotta keep the peace. Whack a comb, then I meditate. Should I need to breathe? Keep an Olmec head when we slide, dog, cause we the sheep. Like my niggas said, bitch, we the sheep. I can't keep the peace. If it pop off, then I want a piece. I'm just on release. I'm in go mode, motherfucker thief. In these streets like EBT, when we at war, make peace with me. I don't give a damn, understand. Fuck who stole this land, white or black or tan. Understand, it's fuck who stole this land. Might have seen me get little buddy these hands. He wasn't no apple man. A lot of these dudes is Sambo man. They full of shit like my ammo can. What they call an N-word out the wrong mouth, that's an ambulance. Wild Indian, get it in advance, or you can post date it. Ask around, I'm the most hated. Straight sacred, they stole acreage. Yo, ape shit, show ain't shit. It won't be televised, I don't take shit. Be the feed, I just pulled up in the need for speed. Free the land, tell the colonizers that they need to leave. Wild Indian up in my veins, you know how we bleed. You ain't gotta lie about who we is, dog, just keep it G. We at war, we can't keep the peace. Since we at war, gotta keep the peace. Whack a cone, then I meditate. Should I need to breathe? Keep an Olmec head when we slide, dog, cause we the sheep.
Man, y'all know I gotta do one more. I don't think I played this in a minute.
You should come and match this greatness. Wake up and I'm saying affirmations. Staring at nature with infatuation. This feeling's amazing. Life is short, so while you living, embrace it. Shoot for the stars, stop living in basic. Cause time is expensive like Audemars. Some people done lost it all. You can have it all today, but you can lose it all tomorrow, for real. That's why I'm intelligent when I think. Every breath and every blink, forever I'm giving thanks, yeah. It keep me grinding, so I'm staying in nature. Why do we thank the creator, but don't thank the creation? Go to church where we pray to a savior, but yet it's simple. That building's man-made, the earth is the real temple. Feel it breeze, see the trees, fruits growing with ease. I kick it hit like Bruce Lee and learn to be like the sea. I want to fly like the birds, the way they living is free. Everything that I observe, I just see it as me in a different form. So every chance I get, I spread love. If you hearing my voice, please keep your head up. People will criticize and try to knock what you've been through, but don't you ever let it stop. Your potential is all within you. Never surrender, tap into the love inside. Because some people never find it, others never try. Some people want to live forever, others want to die. Because they think the grass is greener on the other side. But you gotta water it here first, so conquer your fears first. And let the pain go by healing wounds that still hurt. The biggest keys to live is to grow and forgive. Stop speaking your true thoughts and let them know how you feel. If you want to be happy, start embracing the sadness. You gotta build a strong mind so you can break through the madness. Look around at the world, they all playing it backwards. If you want your dreams to happen, never chase them or trap them. We taking action. Our actions here to live in alignment. We experience life knowing that we here to design it. We was born to have freedom, not to live in confinement. If you ain't got it, well, I'm here time to get up and find it. It's about that time, y'all. Time to heal, time to change, time to elevate. You know, if you hear my voice right now, I'm right here with you. Through all the pain, through all the challenges. You know what I mean? We gotta keep going, we gotta stay motivated. You understand? Because life is a journey. We gotta treat it as such. Don't get weighed down by all the negatives. Stay focused on the positive, you feel me? Love everything, love everybody. Love the earth, embrace the earth, nurture the earth. Go outside, sun gaze, take your shoes off, you know what I mean? Put your feet directly in the soil, feel the earth. Absorb what it's here to give you, which is love. So it's only right we love it back. King Isaiah. Gems, grind, elevate, and manifest success.